Hello and welcome back to Tommy's Top Shelf Comics. I'm Tommy, joined by Murphy.
Hello. You're
We're
sort of
back,
joined by me.
sort of joined. Murphy, we were having some technical difficulties earlier on, so Murphy is now a picture. His face is
I'm a
stuck like that.
face.
It is always going to be like that forever and moving forward, at least until this camera's fixed or the network conditions are more
Yeah,
favorable.
I don't think we blame me this time. I don't think it's me.
Blame the network. Network of Discord. But yeah, we're back with this week's top 5 comics because they were last week's next week's comics, and now it's last week's next week. So we're here to talk about them. Starting with our number 5, Spider-Man: Shadow of the Green Goblin, number 1.
Norman Osborn was not the first Goblin. Norman Osborn is the Green Goblin, but he is not the original Goblin. Learn the shocking secrets of the Proto-Goblin and its dramatic connection to the Osborn family. What role does a young Peter Parker, who has not yet understood his great power and responsibility, play in this unfolding of events? J.M. DeMatteis continues to build his legacy in the mythos of classic Spider lore, this time paired with rising star Michael St. Maria. I mean, hey, man, they keep giving J.M. DeMatteis free reign to kind of go back and do whatever he wants in the history of Spider-Man. It's a cool concept now.
Yeah, it is interesting. Filling in holes or things that it's hard to find things that still haven't been done in Spider-Man now.
I was kind of thinking about that too. Is like, I mean, this dude's done, all the symbiote stuff. He's done Kraven's Last Hunt stuff. Now he's doing Green Goblin at the beginning. Like, they got to start running out of Spider-Man mythos, right? Like at some point.
Eventually.
I mean, I'm assuming this is going to have a first appearance if we're already hearing about the Proto-Goblin in the, in the solicitation stuff. Mm-hmm. So I'm sure it's going to be big. They are just flaunting a green blank variant at me. Like, I need to have it.
It's just a green. It's just green. It's just green.
It's just green. Actually, I do like some of these covers, though. There's some pretty sweet covers for this as well.
They are pretty good. I like the glider one. But moving on to our number 4 this week, we have Deadpool number 1, 2024 edition. A new era for the merc with a mouth and a gun and a sword. Cody Ziegler has a wild ride planned for the merc with the mouth, introducing a terrifying new villain who won't stop until he catches Wade in his death grip. But all work and no play makes Deadpool a very dead boy.
Do you think the villain's name is Death Grip?
Could be.
This one, Cody Ziegler, I like him a lot. His Miles Morales stuff is awesome. So I feel like Deadpool's not a similar character, but a mouthy enough character, just like Miles Morales is, that I think it's going to be exciting to see.
Yeah. It is our 4th Deadpool run since 2018, so...
I know, I'm kind of waiting for one to just, stick.
It's not going to happen.
When was the last time there was, an actual long run of Deadpool? I want to say it was, Original Sin, back in, 2014 or something.
That one did last...
issues or something?
Yeah, that was probably it.
It went pretty long.
Yeah, I remember collecting it, I think, up to 25 or something.
Yeah, and then he had they had the wedding issue, but
mm-hmm.
And it dealt a lot with his daughter, which it looks like this is going to deal with his daughter again, which I feel like kind of just got swept under the rug.
Yeah,
But no, I always love a good Deadpool story, and then like I said, I love Cody Ziegler's work.
Yeah, with Cody Ziegler, I hope it lasts longer.
Yeah, give him a good bit. Like the last Deadpool run was 12 issues, not even.
Yeah, I get it when the story's done, but at the same time, it's not like Deadpool is a key character that has to tie into all these events and stuff. So you can kind of just have the book on its own doing its own thing.
Yeah, I mean he comes and goes as he pleases. Like he pops up in X-Men stuff
Yeah,
and Avengers stuff and whatever. Like you said, they could leave it go.
I'm
Just let
surprised.
it.
Watch, we get a new number one around the movie coming out. Isn't that like this year? So
Uh,
we get like a couple issues of this.
that's coming out soon. Yeah, I don't think they'd be able to
Maybe
do a
it's
note.
maybe it's in time for this trade to come out.
Yeah, I mean that movie is I'm pretty sure is coming out in the next couple months. So I think it's too late to you know reboot it in time for the movie. I'd
July,
be a little mad. I'd be a little
March,
mad.
April, May. Yeah, that's 5. Maybe not.
It's like 4 months.
It's the end of July.
Okay,
So
so
then
yeah,
maybe this trade comes out like end of July, early August. So that makes sense. You have a new Deadpool trade number one for when the movie comes out.
yeah. I mean, we're probably gonna see honestly with that movie coming out a lot of Deadpool coming up.
Yeah, 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 for sure, and a lot of crossovers.
Oh yeah.
But moving on to our image-filled top three, Jeff Johns
Jeff
filled,
Johns.
Jeff Johns filled, starting with number 3, Geiger, number 1, again.
Yeah, I don't know if I can do image number one. Like it would have to be so big. I'd have to say it so loud for three image number ones. But for Geiger number one, it all starts here. The critically acclaimed team of storytellers, Jeff Johns and Gary Frank, return to the nuclear wasteland of their best-selling Geiger for an all-new ongoing series starring the violent and unpredictable Glowing Man. Leaving his home behind, Tariq Geiger now walks the radioactive roads of the former United States with his two-headed wolf Barney. But as his enemies doggedly pursue him, Geiger discovers salvation from the unlikeliest of foes. But what secrets does this potential ally hold that could help Geiger? And exactly how many people are after the glowing man and why? Don't miss this vital, action-packed chapter in the shared universe of the unnamed saga and the momentous Ghost Machine rollout. Yeah, we're gonna be getting a lot of Jeff Johns.
Yeah,
There's gonna be a lot of Jeff Johns. Now, Geiger, how many Geiger series have there been?
I think just one other.
Because they did another one recently, I thought, and then they rolled out the
There was Junkyard Joe,
Junkyard Joe, which is in the Geiger
Geiger
universe.
universe. Yeah,
That's right. That's right. Um,
Geiger just came out
but
in the original run was 2021 and went 6 issues.
I thought it was longer than that for some reason.
Me too.
Well, anybody who knows about Geiger, obviously, fill us in the comments because it seems awesome. Everything I've read about Geiger
Yeah, I gave
sounds
it a
like
shot.
a fun series.
Yeah, I gave the first one a shot. I enjoyed it, but there was also like a ton of books coming out around that time, so I kind of fell off of it. But then
Yeah,
I was like, oh,
I mean,
I'll just catch up when it comes out in a trade, and then it just kind of stopped, and then I was like, oh, maybe not.
as much as I love Jeff Johns, though, I do like Gary Frank's art a lot.
Yeah,
Um, and I've been on a real art kick recently, like reading books more for their art than the stories. So this might be one I definitely keep an eye on, probably in trade form, because if he's going to have 3 to 5 books coming out at a time,
right.
probably wait for trades.
Yeah. Well, we know how you feel about Jeff Johns, but how about Brian Hitch for art? Because we got Redcoat number 1. Immortal mercenary, kind of a tool. Meet Simon Pure, the newest unnamed hero created by comic all-stars Jeff Johns and Brian Hitch.
What does Jeff Johns write?
A couple things. British redcoat and all-round rogue, Simon mysteriously became immortal in 1776 after a run-in with the clandestine cabal known as the Founding Fathers. which included George Washington, John Hancock, and many other prominent American Revolutionary War leaders. Since that fateful day, Simon has led a life of adventure and avarice, rubbing elbows and sometimes fists with many of history's most renowned figures, including his nemesis Benedict Arnold, Albert Einstein, Annie Oakley, and many more. One thing they all agree on, they never want to see him again. But what are the true origins and extent of Simon's powers and the mysterious organization behind them? And how has it secretly shaped America and the world? Simon's on a quest to find out. Don't miss out on this new entry in this exciting Ghost Machine rollout, and it's 34 pages of story for only $3.99.
Dude, I do love stories like this when they just they take the American history like revolutionary characters and they're like, well, actually they were immortal beings. Like if George Washington was part of a cabal, would he have wooden teeth?
Yes,
Yeah.
because of the time.
Yeah, no,
But
I mean this seems like a fun story, man.
it says $3.99, but the cover says $4.99.
Does it?
Yeah.
Who's lying to us? Who's
I
lying?
don't know. We need answers.
And 34 pages, so it's a little bit oversized too. Yeah, it seems like a fun story. Now, I'm wondering, especially with, another Jeff Johns book coming out this week, how are these going to start playing into each other? Where's the crossover going to be? Especially with all the books looking like they kind of take place in different time zones. Like this one is going to be further in the past, I'd assume.
Sure. Yeah.
So, I don't know. It seems fun, though.
With him being immortal,
yeah, maybe this is just...
But he became immortal in 1776, so you're not going behind that. You're going forward.
Yeah. I guess they're going to just... Yeah, we might just get a little bit of origin and then it be in present day or whatever the present time frame is.
Exactly. Yeah, seems super cool. But not quite as cool as number one, Jeff Johns and Jason Fabic, Rook, Exodus, number one.
Jeff Johns and Jason Fabic, the celebrated team behind Batman 3 Jokers, reunite for an all-new science fiction series. Hundreds of years from now, the man known as Rook was once a simple farmer who fled the crumbling earth for a new life on the planet Exodus, a terraformed planet where all of nature, including its imported animal population, was completely controlled by humans called wardens. But when Exodus's world engine failed, the Warden's power fell into the wrong hands, creating chaos and mass evacuation. For those who could afford it, mass evacuation for those who could afford it. The rest, like Rook, must scavenge for an escape vessel as the war for control of what's left on Exodus begins. There's a comment on League of Comic Books that says this looks like Avatar and Mad Max had a baby, and that's like exactly what I want. Like, he's such a cool looking character. I will say that. Like, the art, I like Jason Fabic a lot.
Yeah, me too.
I think that the art's going to be sweet for this, but it does, to me, it piques my interest the most out of the 3 that are coming out this week.
Yeah.
Like, it's just such a sweet looking character.
Yeah, I love the mask.
Yeah. Yeah, the mask is sick. Now, this one is hundreds of years from now. So, like, where are we at?
If you take a look at the cover for issue 3, it's giving me Zoids vibes. So, I'm all
What a
on board.
throwback.
There's
a throwback.
Turtles with giant guns on their backs. And a mech looking thing.
Like a blast, like an apocalyptic Blastoise.
Mm-hmm. Or what was the Zoid? There was a Zoid one. Zoid
Was there a turtle Zoid?
turtle. Yeah, it was like the turtle launching thing.
Well,
The cannon
that's not
tortoise.
that's a straight up turtle though. That's like a
No,
real
I
turtle.
know, but the one in the middle, the one in the middle's revived.
Yeah, yeah. Dude, Zoids. That's awesome.
Yeah.
What
Where
a
are the
good-
Zoids comic books? Oh, that'd be cool. Maybe
don't
they were
know.
manga. Were there Zoids
I
manga?
think they would be a manga. I don't know if there was though. I only ever watched the show. But
Man.
now this one, I mean, this seems cool. I mean, who are they? I mean, the wardens, if they have like control over all the animals, I guess then whoever takes over from them is gotta be doing evil stuff with animals, right? Those turtles probably are killing everybody.
I mean, they got big giant guns on their back.
What else do you do?
What else? It looks like a battleship.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, this one seems pretty cool.
Yeah.
Especially like I said, out of the three, it really is piquing my interest the most, just because of the way it looks.
Oh
Like
yeah.
even the other characters, like on
It's very
issue
Batman-esque
2's cover,
too.
the girl, the female character with the
Direwolf.
like she's got like a wolf mask.
I think that's Direwolf.
Yep, yeah, that would be her name. Yeah, no, it seems cool. Also, didn't even mention it. Brad Anderson on 2 out of these 3 books, or all 3 of them. Yep, all 3 of them. I mean, he and Jeff Johns do a bunch of stuff together, so
Yeah.
that's cool. That Jeff Johns is just bringing all his boys along.
It brings somewhat of a. If you have the same colors, it does bring a sense of cohesion to books.
Yeah, like
Across.
shared universe.
Yeah. I don't know if this is a shared universe, but
I mean, I think
cool.
it has to be, right?
I don't know. It
They
seems
did
like
that one-shot.
it seems like an imprint kind of a thing to me. Correct me if I'm wrong if you know in the comments down below. But it seems like a blue jacket. Best jacket.
Yeah. Oh, we'll see. I mean,
I know
seemingly
Geiger
there would
has
be-
like connecting books, but
Yeah. I mean, it seems like we're going to be getting a lot of this moving forward.
yeah, just with different timelines.
Yeah,
I'd assume.
I mean, if they drop 3 books at once, like, what's the release schedule going to be like? It can't be 3 books every
There's just going to be the
right?
Jeff Johns week of the month. Every month.
Right. It's top 5.
Top
There's
5 Jeff
9
Johns books of the week.
books.
Oh.
Either way, I love that. I mean, Image is just going off, man.
Yeah.
They really are. At this point, you could pull only Image books and you'd still be filling long boxes.
It's true. It's true. But also, if anyone out there knows if there were Zoids comics and if any of them were any good and have recommendations, let me know. I'm now very curious and probably going to go down a rabbit hole. So
I'm about to just go watch Zoids somewhere. I'm sure Toonami still plays it.
Maybe. But all right. Anything else before this week's comics or last week's comics and next week's comics or this week's comics?
One exciting piece of news though, CGC is actually buying a authentication company.
Interesting.
So CGC soon, the idea is that if you want to send your books that are already signed off, they'll be able to authenticate signatures and give you the yellow
Oh, interesting.
label,
Without it being there.
even without witnessing. Yeah, even without witnessing. So something to keep an eye on if you got some of those books that were already signed.
I do.
I mean, I do too. I have a few that I'd gotten signed before I ever graded a comic, or got a comic graded. So
what do you think? I've been meaning to ask you, but now's a good time. What do you think about the recent increase in 9.9 gradings?
I don't like it. I mean, I'm glad I had stopped getting books graded anyways. Yeah. And I thought I would have liked it more if there was more of a chance of books getting out there at like a 9.9 or 10, because everything, it's like 9.8 was the standard. Like,
Right.
get a
You don't
9.8,
get a
pretty much
9.9. You don't get a 10.
that was the best
Yeah.
you could ask for.
Yeah.
But now with how frequent a 9.9 is, it I don't know. I feel like it's making it a little bit cheapened.
Yeah.
You know,
And the giant
books aren't coming out like that. Like,
no.
the only way to get books that are 9.9s would almost be to get them directly from the printer, you know, which obviously Joe Schmo can't get. Like, I'm not getting 9.9s from my local comic book store.
No.
You know, so
but I bet you CGC could.
Premium. Yeah, like, you have to pay a premium, and then it just kind of puts more of these expensive books in retailers' hands when, I mean, I don't have a chance of pulling one of those off a shelf.
No.
You know, you almost, like, if you go to a small enough store where, you know, people are actually looking at the books, like, it's a 9.6 out the gate.
Yeah.
Like, so that's a little frustrating with things like that. Is like, you know, it just adds, it makes it a seller's market, basically. Like, they know that they can get a book that's graded better than what you could possibly get yourself.
Right.
So that's the frustration with it.
Yeah, because I saw there was.
I'd love it if they let me send in signed books without them.
Yeah, that is cool. That is cool.
They'd win me back a little.
That is cool. Yeah, I saw there was the first 9.9 giant size X-Men #1. And I was like, holy crap, I don't believe that.
Especially a giant.
I was like, baloney.
Like, what? How? Like,
yeah.
Like, those books, I mean, yeah, that's crazy. Like, I mean, you'd have had to pressed and cleaned to get that book to be a 9.9.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm sure it's selling for $1 million. Well, probably
Crazy.
not $1 million, but a lot of money.
Yeah. It's wild. But cool. Cool. Well, no. Since we'll talk to you guys next week when this week's comics are last week's comics and last week's comics are next week's comics, making them this week. So we will talk about the top 5 comics of next week.
And hopefully I'm not a frozen face.
And hopefully not a frozen face, but we will update it to another funny picture if that is the case. So
I'll start wearing masks.
Until next week, we'll catch you later.
See ya.